Hi, I'm Grace. Welcome back to my kitchen where I'm going to show you how to make a speedy biryani. So biryani is one of those dishes that usually takes hours to cook. It requires a lot of slow cooking and simmering and layering of the rice. But today I'm going to show you a cheats way to do it. And it's perfect for a kind of midweek meal if you've got some cooked rice or cooked veg lying around. Start by preparing our saffron milk. So I've just got some unsweetened almond milk here. You definitely don't want to have a sweetened milk for this. And I'm going to put about half a mug on the heat. And then to the almond milk, I'm going to add a pinch of saffron. So saffron is one of those ingredients that I usually have lying around my store cupboard that I never use. But I'm happy to say that today I'm using the saffron that's been in my cupboard for about 3 years. So we're going to let that infuse. And while the milk's getting hot, we're going to prepare the spice temper. Is there enough oil in there? Just about? Okay, fine. So for this, I'm using a large casserole dish because it's got a lid. So if you've got a large frying pan with a lid, that's great. We're going to be covering it in a bit. And I'm just going to cover the bottom with oil. So when the oil is nice and hot, we're going to add some whole spices to start flavouring the oil. So the first spice is going to be cinnamon, and then a couple of bay leaves, and then about 3 cardamom pods. And with the cardamom pods, I'm just going to crush them with the side of my knife, and that's going to help release all the seeds so the oil gets even more flavoured. And then a couple of cloves. And finally, a teaspoon of cumin seeds. So these are all whole spices that are traditionally used in biryani dishes. And they have a really delicious kind of aromatic, earthy flavour to them. While those are frying away, I'm going to prepare my onion. So here I've just got a medium white onion. And we're just going to slice it. Great, so that's going to go straight into the pan, along with a nice generous pinch of sea salt flakes. And then I'm just going to use a spatula to make sure that the onion's all separated so it cooks down nice and quickly. By the time your onion's in the pan, the saffron milk is definitely going to be done. So you just want to turn off the heat and let it sit while you get on with the rest of the dish. Now my onions are cooking, I'm going to prep the ginger and the garlic. So we want 4 cloves of garlic and a thumb-sized piece of ginger. So we're just going to grate the garlic in, straight into the pan. And also the ginger is fine to be grated straight in, and there's absolutely no need to peel it. And once the garlic and the ginger in, I'm just going to slice a green chilli down the middle, keeping the seeds in, and add it to the pan. That's going to add a nice subtle level of heat and the amazing flavour of green chilli. Next to the pan, I've got 2 tomatoes here, and I'm just going to roughly dice them. Don't bother about de-seeding or peeling them. They're going to break down in the pan. So those are going to go into the onion mix. Give it all a stir. After the whole tomatoes, we're going to add about a tablespoon of tomato paste, which is going to add a nice depth and an extra strong tomato flavour, because usually at this time of year, tomatoes don't really taste that good. Tomato paste helps them to taste amazing. So about a tablespoon. And to bring out the sweetness of the tomato paste and the tomatoes, I'm going to add about a teaspoon of sugar. So we're going to let that cook out for a couple of minutes. So what we're looking for here is the smell of raw garlic to go. So as soon as that smell is gone, you know your mix is ready for the spices. And we're going to add a teaspoon of ground coriander. and a teaspoon of chili powder. And mix that all through. So now it's time for the veg. And this is a really great way to use up any leftover cooked veg you might have lying around. So here I've got some roasted cauliflower and carrots that I had for my dinner a few days ago. And I'm just going to throw these straight into the pan. So any root vegetable or vegetables similar to cauliflower like broccoli, you want to have them pre-cooked because there's not going to be enough time to cook them through. But I've also got some green beans here that are going to add a nice fresh crunch and a bit of colour. And these cook quite quickly, so no need to have these pre-cooked. I'm just going to slice these in half. And add them to the pan. Frozen peas also would work really well in this. So while the veg's cooking out and absorbing all of those delicious flavours, I'm going to prepare the herbs that I'm going to add. So we've got some mint, and I'm just going to remove the leaves from the stalk. And I've also got some coriander here. So we just need a small bunch of coriander, and for this you can keep the stalks, because that's actually where a lot of the flavour of coriander is, in the stalks. So by now the veg is ready for the rice. And for the rice, I'm just using some supermarket pre-cooked basmati rice. It's really handy for quick Indian cooking especially. So I'm just going to break it up in the bag. Right, so you want to flatten the veg and just sprinkle the rice over the top. So we're looking to create a layer of rice. Don't worry if some comes out in lumps. Just use your hands to break up any other lumps. And on top of the rice, I'm going to sprinkle about 1/4 teaspoon of garam masala. And then I'm going to drizzle over some of that beautiful saffron milk. Have a look at that. Such a beautiful colour. So we're just going to dot it around. And now the chopped coriander and mint. And finally here I've just got some toasted cashews. You could also use almonds if you had them to hand, but cashews I think do work particularly well, but definitely make sure they're toasted or roasted. And just a thin layer there. They're going to add a really great texture. And now we're just going to repeat that all over again. Done, just cover the pan with a lid and just let it do its thing for about 5 minutes, and then it'll be ready to go. So after 5 minutes, it should be looking like that. It's smelling so delicious. And I'm just going to use a spoon to serve myself a generous portion. And then I'm just going to top it with the last few bits of the chopped mint and coriander and a few more toasted cashews. So biryani is traditionally served with kind of chutneys and raita, which is a yogurt dip. I'm going to have a look and see what I've got in my fridge. Have a look at my tidy fridge. Let's see what I got in here. Got some mango chutney. Okay. So here's some homemade date and tamarind chutney. We'll show you how to make that in another video. So there you have it, a super speedy veg biryani with toasted cashews. Can't wait to try this. It smells so good. That's so delicious. Loads of layering of flavour, the freshness of the mint comes through. toasted cashews add loads of great texture, and that saffron just really lifts the whole dish. And it's pretty damn good. Well done me.